Welcome to Getting Diggy With It, where I take a record at random and try to make a beat out of it. The good folks at Electronic Beats TV have asked me to do a sort of extended version of my web series, which I've been doing on Instagram for the last few months. I have a pile of records back here that are a mishmash of charity shop job lots, where I just go into a charity shop and give them £20 and say, give me the whole box. I have no idea what's actually on the shelves, and the game is I randomly take out a record and I have to find enough material on the record to make a song. So when I'm going through the record, I'm basically looking for anything that's useful. Obviously clean drums, clean sounds, clean vocals, and by clean I mean with no other instrumentation on them. That'll be the first thing I'll be looking for. With music, the parts I'm going to use to make the music of my track, I'm looking for tone specifically, not even necessarily what instrument. As long as the chord or the tone that's in that sample is something I like, I can make something out of it. Recently, there's been another evolution in sampling, which is AI. And I know everyone talks about AI and everything nowadays, but in sampling, what it means you can do is take any piece of music and it will effectively extract all the different layers, the different instruments. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good, and it's getting better all the time as it learns, obviously. So now I can just record the whole song and put all of it through the AI, and now I've got the drum channel on its own, and then I can go to town on that. That's something I'm going to try and show today as well. So let's play. Music Explosion, 22 original hits, 22 original stars. No, none of that's useful. Okay. Alright, I've got a drum beat there, could have that. Alright, that was a nice drum roll. I like these drums in this song as well. So I think, yeah, we could get those drums and put them through AI. Nice chords, some crime scene, cop show. And some bass to go with it, lovely. Let's keep going. Those drums are also nice, and the drum roll. Ooh, okay, here we go. Yeah, I like that a lot. So that's a great sample there. I like the chord, I like the tone of it, and it's got multiple instruments and voice in it, so that's going to respond really well when we start messing around with it in the sampler and in the software. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do is there's always been I'm going to put this through the AI. So that's the raw sample you just heard, and this is it through the AI, separating the drums. So you can hear some of the hits sound a bit wonky. I'm going to separate each of the kick drums, hi-hats and snares onto their own channels so I can EQ them. Alright, that's one drum break. So this is the other drum break. Also put this through AI. That one's come out a lot better. Drum sounds, transients are a lot cleaner on that one than the other. So again, I'm going to separate the kicks and snares onto their own channels. And then, so the kicks end up like that. And then the snares. Now all that put together. And then I'm going to add my own processed hits, kicks and snares. So let's play that in. Alright, so let's hear what all these drums sound like together. Happy days. Next up. So this is our main sample. I'm just going to take the end bit there, the Y, the sort of long bit at the end. And I'm going to turn that into an instrument. Basically, put it in a sampler, in contacts, and then just isolate the part. And so let's have a go at playing across the keys. Okay, we like that. That's going to be the hook of our tune. Everything's going to follow that. So now I'm going to sample it, and then I'm going to have this version here, which is going to be low pass. And then I'm going to make a sort of higher range one. So then in the third version of this same channel, I've basically LFO'd it. And the next thing was just to use little bits and pieces of that to make a sort of riff. So now we have sort of a full bunch of instruments, if you like, or layers of the same thing. Next, I'm going to go for the little cop show Rhodes that we heard earlier. So that's the raw sample. Now let's play it across the keys. And I'm going to add some of my own synth keys. Okay, that'll do. So let's see what else we can find. Okay, so that little, quite like that little glitchy sound there. It's just a mistake as I was flicking through the record. I'm going to make an effect sound out of that. So, one of the other drum breaks I separated in AI had this vocal. So let's have a listen to all the music and vocal and effects together. Yep, we like that. The next thing we have to do is get some bass. Okay, we'll go with that. All right, and then I made copies of the mid-range and just pitched them up really high, 2 octaves. And then if I drop half an octave, it's going to make a sort of chord with the bass, which is a really cool sort of old Bristol trick. Altogether, that sounds like this. All right, I think we're ready to go. My approach to it has always been to keep my setup very minimal, very simple, and my kind of theory on it is that, you know, if you keep your equipment the same, you improve, you know, you get better. I like to use football as an analogy for everything in life, basically, but, you know, football is the same size pitch, the same lines, the same goal, the same ball, 11 versus 11. You know, you get better. The technology around the game doesn't change, you do. So I sort of try and approach music making in the same way.